Hey everyone, me Kevin here. In this video, we're talking about the truth about the fourth stimulus check and on which date we expect to know the details of the fourth stimulus check. Let's get right into the information with a quick reminder that at the end of this month, I am expecting to expire the amazing coupon down below for 39% off all of the programs on building your wealth, whether it's through real estate, YouTube videos, property management, stocks and the psychology of money, sales, you name it, there's something down there for you. Take a look at the links down below or go to metkevin.com/join. Folks, let's get right into a flowchart now on the next stimulus check. All right, folks, so here's the thing. Here's what we know. Right now on stimulus checks, the third stimulus check, we know that 161 million stimulus checks have already been distributed at a cost of $379 billion. This is important because we are looking to Joe Biden's infrastructure plan to give us clues for how $4 trillion might be spent and if those $4 trillion might end up including stimulus checks. Well, $379 billion does work out to approximately 10% of the size of Biden's potential infrastructure package if he gets the full large package through, which 10% would be a very large piece for one item in an infrastructure package. This is going to be important when we talk about the likelihood of the fourth stimulus check later in this video. We also know that right now over 700,000 individuals have received $1.2 billion in plus-up payments. These plus-up payments are basically for people who had already filed their 2020 tax returns and their income fell from 2019 to 2020. Because remember, in 2020, when we first became eligible for stimulus checks, the IRS and Treasury Department looked at our 2018 and 2019 tax returns. So the IRS is automatically processing some of these as plus-up payments. Then, what else do we know about the fourth stimulus check? Well, regarding the fourth, we know that there has been a letter from the Senate on March 31st, and this was a letter by 21 Democratic senators who wrote their letter to Joe Biden urging that Joe Biden include recurring direct payments in his $4 trillion package. Now, keep in mind, these are recurring direct payments. This has been cast as a potential fourth stimulus check. Though Joe Biden, it's not clear yet if Joe Biden sees this as a fourth stimulus check or potentially a reference to that recurring child tax credit. We'll see. Then, we do know that as part of this letter, Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders were included, and these are individuals who have frequently been fans of the $2,000 per month stimulus check. This is something they've been talking about really for the last 2 years. So it's not a surprise that Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, and potentially 19 other senators aligning with Warren and Sanders would be asking for recurring direct payments as part of the infrastructure package, especially since Biden is including a social infrastructure or soft infrastructure part as part of his plan. Now, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, and those who wrote the letter believe that this funding is crucial for supporting families, especially with that unemployment cliff coming up. Keep in mind that there are also a lot of people who do not qualify for unemployment or receive benefits or receive the benefit of a stimulus check, but do not receive the benefit of unemployment. However, even unemployment, the boost that we're seeing, $300 per month, does come to an end the first week of September. Then, we have the Economic Security Project, which just recently here on April 14th released a report indicating that fourth and even fifth stimulus checks could keep 12 million more Americans out of poverty, which keeping people out of poverty has been a priority of the Biden administration. Consider the fact that a big reason they're pushing for the child tax credit to come monthly is lifting 50% of American children out of poverty. There are also arguments that these or a fourth or fifth stimulus check would help reduce or close the racial and wealth gaps in the country. Also, 60% of recipients who receive the third stimulus check say these checks will only last them 3 to 4 months. Not 34 months, that's a typo there, 3 to 4 months. Specifically with Black and Latinx households receiving the bulk of that benefit, especially if you consider unemployment. You have the Black unemployment rate at over 9.5%, whereas the white unemployment rate is right around 5.5%. So massive differences in unemployment. We also have an open letter from over 150 economists. That open letter encouraged recurring direct payments as an essential tool to promote economic security in the country. And we've previously gotten a House letter earlier this year from 53 Democratic representatives led by Ilhan Omar. She is a member of the Squad to also support, quote, recurring direct payments until the economy recovers. AOC, who is part of the squad, has signed on to this as well. But remember, Omar has also been calling for $2,000 direct checks for over a year now, and many folks are wondering if the squad is using this as a politically advantageous way to continue to garner votes and continue to maintain the support of their populace or constituents. Now, that might be a jaded look, so everybody would have to make their own opinion on that. However, they do mention until the economy recovers, which I thought, okay, well, it might be useful to take a look at how the economy has been recovering and what we've been hearing. So far, data has been showing that the economy has been recovering, which is not so good for their argument. So if they were going to make an argument, I'd kind of encourage they follow the senators in making more of a racial or wealth gap argument than an until the economy recovers argument. Now, don't get me wrong, many parts of the economy have not recovered yet, but broadly speaking, some measures of the economy do show some strong recovery. Consumer spending in March, which remember consumer spending makes up like about 69 to 70% of the economy, was up 9.8% in March. That is, spending on retail and food services were up 9.8% in March from the prior month. It's a pretty big bump. Jerome Powell says we're growing much more quickly. Sorry for the typo there. Much more quickly, and job creation is coming much more quickly as well. This was just recently in one of his last addresses. And Republican support for another check right now is essentially zero. We have also heard of zero mention of another stimulus check from the Problem Solvers Caucus. And Joe Manchin was already looking for more stringent restrictions on who would receive the third stimulus check, making potential support by Joe Manchin a key Democrat who's kind of potentially the 49th or 50th vote for things like the next stimulus check very low, at least right now. We're not seeing Joe Manchin pushing for another check. And so this is where we kind of have to put all of this information together and go, okay, so we've got folks like economists and maybe more left-leaning Democrats, like half of the Democrats in the Senate, a small portion of the Democrats in the House pushing for additional direct payments, but some of them are making it conditioned upon the economy doing well, but the economy is already starting to do better. There are a lot of concerns that inflation is going to be coming and that more money printing isn't going to help unless that money printing is offset by higher taxes, which is obviously something that Joe Biden has been pushing for, with not only higher individual taxes, but potentially higher capital gains taxes and higher corporate taxes, something that Joe Manchin is already pushing back on. Joe Biden wants a 28% corporate tax rate. Joe Manchin's like, no, I'm drawing the line at 25%. So you've already got some massive issues here. I mean, reconcile this for a moment. It seems like only the further folks on the left are pushing for another check. You're not getting moderates or people, certainly people on the right, pushing for another check. A lot of concerns about inflation. A lot of resistance to increasing taxation to offset the spending in this infrastructure plan. If we did another stimulus check, it'd probably be somewhere around 10% of the cost of this infrastructure package, which is a very big portion. And this is a key one right here. Remember, Joe Biden did not promise another stimulus check on top of this. And so this is where we start kind of getting to a potential bottom line here. And before I get to this bottom line, I want to mention something that's been very important on my channel. People have always wondered, Kevin, why did you make daily stimulus check updates or updates on the EIDL grants or PPP money or mortgage forbearance over the last year on the first check, the second check, the third check, the $1,000 EIDL grants, PPP, all this stuff, mortgage forbearance? Why did you make daily videos on these things, but you're not talking about the fourth stimulus check daily? It's the same reason why I didn't clickbait over the $10,000 EIDL grants that everybody was definitely going to be getting these grants. When I read between the lines and I read the information I'm getting, I was very, very excited, and I still am very, very excited about mortgage forbearance. Very excited about people taking it. I'm excited about the PPP loans. I think people should refinance their EIDL loans, not the grants, their loans into PPP loans and get the PPP loans. Do the PPP if you haven't done it yet. I've got many videos on this. You can Google those. Me, Kevin, PPP. Watch them. Really, really good. Same thing with forbearance. Do it. Very excited about those. I'm passionate about those. I was very passionate about the first, second, and third stimulus check. However, my passion for the fourth stimulus check is relatively low because so far it doesn't look like the indications are saying we're going to get a fourth stimulus check. But when will we actually know that the fourth stimulus check is going to come? Well, that's what I'm going to talk to you about right now. Oh, and one more thing, because I mentioned it. There was a lot of talk about how everybody was going to get for sure this $10,000 EIDL grant. I talked about on this channel how I thought that was just pure hopium, that the SBA was going to end up loopholing out of giving everybody the extra $9,000 if you got your $1,000 EIDL grant. I ended up being right about that. They ended up doing exactly what we suspected, loopholing out of giving everybody that extra $9,000. I think that's wrong. They owe people that extra $10K. Congress themselves has complained about that, but that's just the way things work. So I really want to focus on this channel about realness. What's most likely going to happen? And folks, how are we going to know whether or not the fourth stimulus check is going to happen? Here's the answer right here. Biden is giving a speech this week. In Biden's speech this week, which is a primetime address to Congress, Biden will be talking about the social infrastructure part of his next large package reveal. Now, something very important to know about Biden before I go into some of these details. The last time Joe Biden revealed the stimulus package and when the first part of the infrastructure package was revealed, Biden had a speech scheduled. But guess what happened before Joe Biden's speech? Well, before Joe Biden's speech, the media from the White House got a linked document or sort of a breakdown summary document of all of the things that would be in the stimulus package, the third stimulus check one, or in the first part of the infrastructure package, or I should say and. Both of the times the media on the day of the speech got a full breakdown of what was going to be in the package. And quite frankly, the things that Joe Biden said in his speech were more for emotional purposes, and he didn't really go into the details of what was in the plan. What was released earlier in the day by the media, whether that, I understand mainstream media kind of gets a bad rap, but they do have connections directly to the White House, and they get these leaks. Those leaks had most of the details. Biden's speeches tend to give very little details. However, this Wednesday, which is Wednesday, let's see, 26, 27, the 28th, Joe Biden will be giving a primetime speech on this next soft or social infrastructure package. This is the day you want to pay attention to see if we see any mention of a fourth stimulus check. I personally think if there is going to be a fourth stimulus check, the first way we are going to hear about it is going to be in the media release, which is going to give us itemized breakdowns of what's in the package. Joe Biden is generally not one to go through every single detail that's in a package in his speech. So Joe Biden's speech is scheduled for prime time. It's a primetime Congress speech, which means it's at night. It's later in the day. However, I would expect in the AM hours, we're going to get that media release. So you really want to mark your calendar for early on Wednesday if you're looking for that fourth stimulus check. Now, keep in mind, in the social infrastructure reveal, we do expect to see things like universal pre-K, but also potentially making those monthly child tax credits more permanent. Right now, the last stimulus check package gave us monthly child tax credits that are expected to start in July. This is an increase from about $2,000 per year per child, which is current law, to getting $3,000 per child between 6 and 17 years old, or $250 a month, or up to $3,600 for a child under 6, or $300 per month. And this is expected to begin, or these payments are expected to get advanced to us starting in July. And that's as long as we, or I should say the government, can get a portal out by June so that people can opt in or out into the program or out of the program. So expecting that portal to get released in June, and maybe those payments can start coming out via direct deposit or checks or however, starting in July. However, this program was only authorized for 1 year, the year of 2021. We're expecting potentially in Biden's infrastructure plan to see this get extended out to 2022, maybe even 2023 or 4. Now, because this reduces poverty for children by 50% in America, and it is a recurring style of payment, some believe that what Democrats are calling for might get satisfied by this child tax credit. Remember, they're asking for recurring direct payments, although they did specifically mention fourth and fifth stimulus checks as well. Recurring direct payments over here in the Economist letter, or over here, again, recurring direct payments from the House letter. Well, that is technically what this child tax credit is. It just doesn't benefit people without children within those ranges. Now, again, keep in mind, This primetime address is on Wednesday, though expect the paperwork to reveal the actual details earlier in the day, so I expect those details to be more important. Also, keep this in mind, Joe Biden has not mentioned a single word about a fourth stimulus check. That is a problem. This is why, personally, I believe that right now, the fourth stimulus check is something that is used for a lot of hopium, but it is potentially something that we should not expect. I personally think there's really only about a 15% chance of seeing a fourth stimulus check in this bill. I think right now, because of that, a lot of the media coverage on the fourth stimulus check is just hopium, or in some cases, even outright clickbait. Not in all cases. It's okay to cover the fourth stimulus check. But to me, it's not been something that I've been covering on the daily, and it's something that I've actually rarely been covering because I think the odds are relatively low. However, I do want to make it clear that if it's going to come, my expectation is it'll come on Wednesday. If it doesn't come on Wednesday, I think the odds of a fourth stimulus check continue to decline. Now, keep in mind, there has been mention that if the economy devolves, and let's say we get more strain issues or the economy just falls into another recession, of course, at points like that, I would expect in the future, if there were a massive future decline, yes, maybe then at that point, we might see another stimulus check. But expecting a 10% line item for stimulus checks in this infrastructure package on Wednesday, I think has a very low chance of happening. So hopefully you appreciate this insight. If you do and you like my perspective, consider sharing the video, comment down below what your thoughts are, but also check out the amazing programs that I have on actually building your wealth. Keep in mind, my programs are designed all around breaking everything that you know, every suspicion that you have about stocks or real estate or sales even, or making YouTube videos. I want to break down everything that you think you know. I want to destroy all of it. And I want to build you up to show you how to actually become a millionaire, building wealth with real estate or stocks, starting out with as little as $10,000, potentially in some cases as little as $5,000. Check out those programs, link down below. I look forward to having you in those programs. Thank you so much for watching and supporting my videos, and folks, we'll see you in the next one.